All right, everybody. Welcome in yet again to a 1v1 on Arabia. Our boy T90 just picked up a fat dub in the previous game, playing as the Goths up against the Sicilians. Let's go ahead and fix this, though. Okay, great. Want to make sure we got PLP correct on the scoreboard, but now that we have it, let's go ahead and introduce the players. Over here in the blue, playing as the Spanish, is your boy T90 official. And on the other side of the map, in the red, we've got PLP playing as the Vikings. Now, PLP is a player that I am wholly unfamiliar with. Also, good point. 3 houses off the rip. I mean, I'm a little confused by that as well, but why not? You know, why not? Just doesn't want to deal with houses later, I guess. So PLP, a player I'm not super familiar with. But Vikings versus Spanish is going to be an interesting matchup because obviously Spanish want to get to those conquistadors. So like 1 TC, castle play, get the conks out onto the field and wreak havoc in the castle age. For the Vikings, though, kind of similar to Goths in some ways, right? It's going to be about building up that eco with free wheelbarrow and handcart in the feudal and the castle age, right? So like staying protected at home, probably playing into archers and crossbows, and out-booming your opponent, in a sense, and overwhelming them later. Yes, as Spanish, he does build those houses faster, and so he could have possibly just built 3 houses, 1 ville each at the beginning. Oh, no. T90, stop typing. Or is that a deer? Actually, that's a deer. My bad. Okay, I was like, oh, my God, his turkeys. Okay, push that deer in. Never mind. I'll take it back. Did he lose his lure now? Man, these guys. This is more than any top 10 player talks, I feel like. T90 getting his deers in as well. Taking a look at the bases, T90 is super protected by wood lines. Look at this. Little wall action here. Boom. 4 tiles. Little wall action here. Put your military buildings and a gate right out here, and then a little wall and a house. And you will have stone, gold, and berries all protected. Like, it is decent-sized walls, no doubt, but, like, super protected. Could even go walls and then walls, but probably want to do them here just so that it's less villager time to get over there. On the other side here for PLP, you can throw a house here and wall across here. So I think he's going to have to go a little tighter on his base, right? But berries are quite exposed and have this annoying-ass hill right in front of them. So that could be annoying to deal with. And then doesn't have nearly as many woodline options as T90. Has this one back here and at least has a gold in the back. Another hill, though, that I'll have to defend against. So it's going to have probably a big wall right over here. So I think I definitely prefer T90's map in this situation. But obviously it comes down to the play on the day. Just going to let these players scale up. I'm also going to take a moment to like drink some water and not talk so much. T90's got a ton of wood around his base. Yeah, if you were to draw a line down the center of the map, there's probably far more wood on this half. But also, it's just the proximity that he has it to his base. Moves out here for a second wood line. That makes perfect sense. He's starting the walls here, like we were thinking about. So again, very smooth build here so far for T90. It's a 20 pop-up, 19 villagers. Loom on the way here, just about to complete for PLP, but he's idle at the moment. Okay. 9 seconds of idle time that you really wish you didn't have, to be honest, when you had the resources to click up. Does get it, though, in the end. Already has a barracks up and is moving on to gold, so I would expect to see militia in the queue here any moment from PLP. There's 2 of them. T90, though, he caught that barracks on the front, so he's going to leave his scout here to track. He's going to immediately get some small walls up as well. There's the bear. Okay, oh my God, that was going to frustrate me so much. I also don't know how much I love walling to the TC here. I think, again, this is the same distance as this in a lot of ways. So I would have preferred this to be placed 2 tiles forward, this to be here on this tile, and then just continue the wall across to this wood line here. Because then this wall becomes easier. He might still kind of go back towards this way, if you know what I mean. Yeah, he's gonna sort of make this wall happen. And he is a little safer and closer to his TC, just in case those militia were able to come forward. All 3 militia now on the way. Feudal Age about to be reached, though. And they still have half a map to walk. There's the man-at-arms click. Immediately, Eco upgrades in for T90. He's fully walled already, though, on the wood line and at the berries. Very tight walls over here. And it looks like he's just going to maybe end up walling straight across the front and abandon this wood line. And that's fine. Keeps the walls close to his TC. And all of his villagers are relatively safe. Militia are just now arriving as the man-at-arms upgrade completes. And they'll start to whack away on some of these palisades. First scout onto the field here to make 2 in total for T90. And he's immediately going to go forward and just look for some harassment. Possibly onto this gold or this back wood line. Archery range up in that moment for PLP. No damage taken, though, from T90. He's got to feel really good about this start, I think, as the Spanish. Having taken no damage, he's got another scout onto the field. He's got a spearman as well in defense. Can get some pokes onto that scout. I'm just going to chase him away from the walls. And he continues to get farms up. All these are horse color farms. His opponent doesn't yet have horse color, but does have that free wheelbarrow. Again, something we cannot ignore, has free wheelbarrow. Economy for the Vikings is always incredible. PLP, though, getting housed, dropping a house with 4 villagers because he couldn't complete this one earlier. So, again, great damage by T90 early on in the game. Early feudal here, forcing a lot of idle time as a result. 42 seconds idle TC time now for PLP. T90 just has to make sure that he gets the repair down, and he does. So, again, we'll keep the palisade wall up. From there, he's now on to 9 farms and adding an archery range at home. A couple skirms is probably all he needs to start harassing those men-at-arms away, or possibly bring the skirms forward to deal with the archers that he sees his opponent is building currently. 1 KD. Oh, that's the spearman. Okay. That we had earlier. And now a blacksmith on the way. Wants to make sure that the archers either have fletching or have a spearman. There we go. To protect them. Spearman for scout trade and half health. That one's very good there for PLP. But T90 doing a phenomenal job with his eco. 13 farms now. 13 farms now. Horse color farms at that. His opponent just at 9. Wheelbarrow obviously still doing work here for the Vikings player. And PLP slowly walling up across the front. Going to get these palisade walls on down here on the right. The 3 scouts are at home here for T90, so no real pressure to the villagers that are trying to attempt this walling. Does need to realize that this is open. We do have a small pause in the game, but it's a 1-tile gap in the back here. So PLP needs to be aware of that, finishing the walls on the front. For T90, it's just more scouts, more skirms in production. No villagers on gold yet, so it's going to be a while till he can hit Castle Age. Here we go. We got a house down and a wall over here. So really almost fully walled on this left-hand side here for T90. Another home fire. Seriously. How many archers do we have on the field? We got 4 on the field and 1 about to complete here for PLP. He is coming forward, and he brought... There we go. We're on the way again. So it's 5 archers, 3 men-at-arms, and a near full health scout here for PLP. It's a pretty solid force with fletching just completed. Now, all of that up against the 4 scouts and 5 skirms of T90. T90 about to complete Town Watch. So again, perfect timing on that to see some of the pressure that would be coming forward. Wants to control this hill, and I think should try to do so with the skirms. 4 scouts as well is a solid number here. Wouldn't be too mad about taking the fight up against the men-at-arms, but does decide that retreating is the better option here. Trades away, though, with the skirms against the archers, and that's a 2 for 0 in the trade overall. And now with 6 skirms, like 6 skirms, feudal age, they don't have fletching, so they're really only going to tickle the men-at-arms, but they can kite forever. What's going on here? Let's just move at regular speed. Yeah, okay. I was like, something, it keeps slowing down for some reason. Moving on to gold finally. So T90 now thinking about that transition to Castle Age, right? So he got the walls completed over here on this side, caught that hole that he had, chasing around with the skirms, but thinking about getting the gold in while the food is on the way. 200 in the bank currently, 18 on food. Kind of matched across the board, and since he put the investment into skirms, right? That's 9 skirms and 4 scouts that he created. All that food was spent as opposed to going up to the Castle Age. Back at home, PLP has caught up in the farming numbers. And having Wheelbarrow behind all of that is pretty huge. T90 clicks it to try and equalize those eco upgrades. In the battle over here, back at T90's base, the skirms continue to kite. They have no fletching again. Look how little damage they do to one of those men-at-arms with each volley. Market coming up for T90, so he wants to possibly sell some wood. Maybe even 100 stone, possibly, if he really wants to force the Castle Age up. I think he should be willing to be patient, though. He's taken no damage. He's getting harassed on this wood line. What's up, Track SC? How you doing? What's up, Count Timo? Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for coming by the stream. Who left the food in the stove this time? It was me. I did it. Okay. Castle Age on the way for the Vikings player. PLP the first to get there. T90 not far behind, though. 5 seconds is the difference. Trying to complete these walls. We'll do so soon enough. So both players are effectively fully walled. Now, some of it, of course, is just palisades. T90 bringing over his scouts and the skirms to try and catch this force out here from PLP, and I think he's going to get the vision of it. So hopefully can chase all these downs with the scouts as well. I'm a little surprised he actually pulls the scouts this way as opposed to just making sure to wrap this up. But it looks like he'll complete it. No problem. Gets the walls down. Has archer armor and the fletching already in. The chase is complete. He'll eliminate those 2 archers. Back at home, the scouts continue the chase, but they're going to run into these archers here, so can't take the fight. So for PLP, armor for his scouts. Question is, does he want to go into Viking Knights? I don't think you do. But maybe you make a couple just to deal with the skirms that your opponent has built. Since T90 is full skirms. Now, all of that said, T90 should see in a moment, if he's checking, the scouts of his opponent have the armor upgrade. And that's your signal that they are going to go into some knights. So Viking Cav is really just a response to the skirmishers, right? Like, it's not necessarily your long-term play. But all you've seen your opponent build is some scouts and skirms. Like 2 knights will take care of all of that. So 2 knights with 1 armor are going to take care of all those skirms. Now you can put the remainder of your resources into crossbow bodkin. But you don't want to take this trade here. Be careful with this trade. Vikings just lose if they don't manage to do damage in castle. No. No, I actually think it's the other way around. I think Spanish need to do damage in castle. Because Vikings now have handcart, right? And a 2-vil lead, 3-vil lead. Now, T90 did get onto TCs first, so he's about to be on 3 TCs, whereas PLP is only going to be on 2. But you got handcart and a small villager lead. on this side. I think the eco here is just going to explode here soon enough. You prefer Spanish and Imp strictly because of Hussar? I mean, I mean, if both players have 200 pop and perfect economies, I agree with you. If that, if that makes sense. Like if you have, if I put you in the game, both 200 pop, perfect economies and everything, like I think I agree with you. I think the problem, at least from my opinion, is that you shouldn't get to the Imperial Age in the same state as the Vikings, if that makes sense, right? Because the Vikings eco should be better here. You should keep the Vil lead, and then just by virtue of having handcart over your opponent and the investment of time that handcart and the resources that handcart takes means that you should be imp first. The big difference would be if a castle comes down and conks come out. But obviously a winnable game for both players, right? In the end of the day. But yeah, right now I would say that PLP should feel pretty good about his position, in my opinion. He's got slight military lead. He's got slight eco lead. Monks play here for T90 in response to the Knights. Did already manage to get one relic picked up. It's on the way home currently. No ballistics here for these crossbows. So they're unfortunately not going to find too many kills easily. Actually might find this monk. And, oh, T90 even catches it though. He's going to reroute the monk. See if he can get away with it. PLP continuing to loop around. Threatening a conversion now and dropped the relic inside. So at the very least, this monk is pretty safe. And that relic is secure. So now we just continue to track the economies for both players. It's more farms, more farms, more farms for the Vikings player. Which again, I think just goes back to my theory. PLP is like near 2100. He's just under 2100, I think. And T90 is just under 2300 currently. Siege Workshop in play here for PLP. Is this the real T90? This is the real T90. He is very official. All right, Mangonel on the way here. And that's going to be more forward pressure. Ooh, I don't know about this one here. I don't know about this one here for T90. The scouts come in, but they're all super low health. They actually don't even get a snipe. I didn't realize all three of them were near death. I thought it was going to be three monk kills because full health scouts, but they weren't full health at all. And in fact, T90 is the one who will trade out on all three scouts, keep all three of his monks alive, and PLP is running back home. More stables being dropped. Ugh. Second armor coming in. The Vikings player is on full cavalry right now. Could become overwhelming numbers. So once again, T90 has to sort of respect this. Housed. We don't love that. We don't love being housed. More houses being dropped in the back. So T90 is going to have to respect the amount of pressure that's coming forward here soon. How many monks are on the field? It's 4 with 3 in the queue. The Knights are looking for the fight now, though. And the Skirms are going to do a decent job of blocking. We've got one snipe already in terms of the monks, but one conversion in response. 2 more monks go down. 1 more conversion comes through before the last of the monks fall. So it's 2 conversions in total. And unfortunately, for T90, Knights aren't going to find the kills onto the Mangonel because the crossbows are protecting. And there's enough Knights here now that they can threaten all of these skirmishers. This could get really dangerous for T90 really quickly. All these skirms are going to get chased and eventually die. And right now, the crossbows and the Mangonel are rerouting to the front of T90's base right as he's moving out for a castle. Right as he's moving out for a castle. This could be absolutely disastrous. We still don't have ballistics, but T90 immediately thinks better of the castle placement, and he's going to have to go for something a little bit safer. But where is the placement? Oh, all the way over here to the to the left-hand side to protect this gold, and on this hill. Don't hate it, but it now means that the whole front of your base is exposed. We could have a mangonel pressuring 4 production buildings, including the monastery and a TC. We don't have any siege workshop at home yet for T90 as well. So there can be no siege response. And now the knights begin the raiding in the back of the economy while the crossbows protect on the front. Oh, lordy. PLP says, I like that castle position. I will take it for myself. And he's sending villagers forward as we speak. 9 vills coming forward to build this castle. It's starting to look scary all of a sudden here for T90. He does have a castle up. Isn't able to get any conks out just yet. Needs to start building a conks mass. That'll be a good response and a solid way to hold. But it's looking scary as vills. Where are these vills going? Oh no, T90 unfortunately just throwing away some vills there as they were ejected out of the TC and back towards that original castle position that he was looking at. Vills forward now here for PLP, finally putting the castle up. The knight numbers, though, continue to look solid for him. T90 starting to creep up in the knight numbers as well, and does still have a few monks to try and find conversions. He's bringing his knights out to try and stop the castle, but he's not going to find the angle, and instead chooses to take the fight. Not a good fight to take, though. You're down in upgrades. You only have your first armor upgrade up against second armor and forging here on the other side for PLP. With crossbows behind all of that, this is a disastrous fight for T90. And in fact, PLP is just going to keep rolling forward. Knights into an unprotected eco. Imagine if knights are hitting this farming eco over here. He's now got the castle position and stolen control of this extra gold here by T90. I'm not sure what the recipe for success here is for T90 because now he's trying to play catch up. He's trying to play catch up in the same army comp. Nobody expects the Viking Cavalier, or Cav, I guess, not Cavalier. You're right. No one expects the Viking Knights with +2 in this mass to come raid the eco, completely throwing a curveball at T90 here. T90 trying to mount the defense and does get the second armor upgrade in finally. Husbandry as well to try and make the chasing a little bit easier. But such a tough spot to be in. And unfortunately, no raids to be found on the other side to try and find some damage back. Does get a good wall off here, though. So it's going to prevent the knights from running through. Oh, does he get the palisade? He does. Redirected once again. Nearly trapped. Gates and houses. Love to see it. Can we get another house? Another house? A palisade? Nice. All right. This is actually a big fight here for T90, I think, because at this point, he has the better numbers. That's a big cleanup. A big cleanup, but Imp is 1 minute away here for PLP. That's the problem. PLP stopped production of the Knights to get Imperial Age in, and now he's transitioning into Pikes. Just like that. Great transitions here from PLP. Stopped producing Knights. He took all that food and gold that was going to be his Imp, that was going to be Knights, turns him into an Imp click. Now he's got Pikes on the way. Ballistics as well to make this castle that much stronger. He can still get crossbows onto the field. 19 crossbows is a decent number. T90 going for a panic castle here to try and deny his opponent theirs. But Imp is in. T90 is nowhere close to it. He's going to try and get big damage done with these knights going forward. We'll see if he can do just that. His castle will go up. Could possibly deny this one. I don't know if these vills back here will be in range at that point. Is going to get a number of vill snipes. Yeah, unfortunately, is now targeting the crossbows of all things. And while those are good kills to find, I think it means this castle does go up. It's very close, actually. Could be a doubt castle. 95% at this point. 1 vill remaining. She is still alive. Back at home, though, it's just raids galore here for T90. He's throwing knights at the problem. And he is finding good kills. All of a sudden, you've got 94, 96 idle eco. There's not a single villager working in all of PLP's economy, and he has to send Pikes back. He has to send Pikes back to deal with them. He doesn't even have the knight numbers over here to deal with it well. This castle didn't end up going up. Doubt to the rescue. And while there is a trebuchet working away, T90 has bought himself some breathing room. He still has a whole bunch of vills in production. He's got Rams building up on this side, so he's thinking about a full Castle Age play, it looks like, because he's very far from Imp resources, so it's still going to be tough from this position. It's still going to be very tough from this position. More Knights coming in, though, onto the wood line, finding more villager kills. This is fantastic for him, and he continues to distract PLP in the back. PLP does have more vills, but he's got 30 idle at the moment. No vills are able to come forward to complete this castle either, so it's still just one castle trebuchet production. 3 trebuchets now onto the field. 3 battering rams onto the field for T90. He's trying to keep this TC alive. He's sending the knights forward now, but they're running into pikes. This is where it gets dangerous. Those pikes, of course, only have the first armor upgrade, so they aren't terribly effective against the knights, but these rams are about to all go down, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like the military numbers are there for T90 to deal with it at this moment. Try as he might, he gets through the house first, but only 1 battering ram remains to try and threaten this castle. His castle goes down to the 3 trebuchets of his opponent, and I think PLP may have just done enough to win this one. The raids continue. GG, well played is the call. Wow, PLP, fantastically done. Honestly, the Knights and in the numbers that he had them was really surprising, I think. And definitely scary. And then again, just the idea that Vikings economy gets so gross, just gets so gross, so fast, and can support such incredible army numbers. Well played by PLP.